Sir Walski, I completely understand how you feel. You got your National Guard, advertisement, recruiting thing through the mail. I got mine through a phone call, so I had to actually talk to somebody. Now, this guy is calling me. You know what kind of person I am? I'm really artistic, free-going, very independent and liberal, and totally against everything Bush and the Iraq War, and I will totally say it to anybody. I don't care who you are. Republican, I will tell you to your face, I think the war is wrong, whatever, blah, blah, blah. So, somebody calls me, and honestly, I try to respect them because, I feel bad. I mean, they're making a phone call and they're desperate to recruit people for a war. That doesn't make sense. So at the same time, I don't feel bad for them because they're recruiting me for a war that's completely unnecessary, insane, and ill. Just ill. So they're calling me and they're like, hey, how you doing? I know you're almost out of high school. Do you know what you want to do with your life? And I'm like, yeah, actually I do. And they're like, oh. And they're trying to be nice to me. They were actually very polite. And like, what are you going to do? I was like, oh, I was planning on going to college. I'm going to college, yes. I was planning on going to college and being a fashion merchandise manager major. That's not what I want to do anymore, but that's what I told him at the time. And he's like, oh, that's really great, but you can be in the National Guard. And I was like, yeah, but no. But what I really said was, I'm really sorry. I don't support the war, and I wouldn't want to join the National Guard, Army, etc., Navy, whatever. And he's like, well, but you don't necessarily go. I'm like, I don't care. Anything government run that's has to do with war or anything, any kind of overseas action and help and awesome things that we do, I'm not going to be a part of it. I don't even want to live here, honestly. I hate what our government does. It's just so embarrassing to be called an American sometimes. We look at John McCain, he's the second George Bush. It's like Bush's third term. So when I think of myself as American, I'm like, wow, I'm so embarrassed. And I think all these things in my head, and then I'm talking to this guy who's really nice to me, trying to recruit me, and I think, fuck you, stop bugging me. But I'm really sorry you're involved, but that's your fault. Because honestly, the Army has two kinds of people. People that are too stupid to understand life, and they join the Army because they're like, oh, well, maybe it's an awesome war. No. And then there's the people that really can't afford it. Oh, and then there's one type of person. The other type is they're really, really patriotic, and they're like, I'll die for my country, I'll do anything. And normally, that kind of coincides with the stupid one. But I guess if you're intelligent and patriotic, that could make a third type of Army, National Guard person. But that is my opinion on this issue. I really get agitated, but I try to be polite and respectful, since sometimes it's not their fault. Because if it isn't their fault, I'm not going to be mean to them. But if it is their fault, then yeah, I'd be like, fuck your war, fuck you, why don't you just, go die? Because, you might as well go kill yourself because you're going to die over there anyway. But I hate my life. So, I'm sorry, National Guard, but quit calling me, sending me mail, everything.